It's a rather precarious task to decide upon the most beautiful places in the Caribbean when the region itself is renowned for its breathtaking beauty, but here goes. I've had the pleasure of visiting the Caribbean many times over the years, and I've rarely been disappointed, but there are some Caribbean islands that I feel are especially worth visiting right now. In looking at the most beautiful places in the Caribbean, I wanted to cast my net pretty wide here, and that meant looking at Eastern Caribbean islands, Western Caribbean islands, Southern Caribbean islands, and, you guessed it, Northern Caribbean islands. Number 1 is outrageous, so watch till the end to find out. Today I'm going to show you 10 most beautiful places in the Caribbean islands. Before the video begins, please give it a like, and if you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments which country you want to see next. Now let's begin. Number 10. Aruba. Aruba, most beautiful Caribbean islands. Not far from the coast of Venezuela, in fact less than 30 kilometers, lies the islands of Aruba, which is the A in the Caribbean's famous ABC Islands, the other two being Bonaire and Curaçao, which might just make the list a little higher up, wink wink. Aruba to this day is still part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, which means the citizens of Aruba are considered to be Dutch nationals. I actually visited St. Martin a couple years ago, another Dutch island, and I was happy to see how much money they had poured into the hurricane relief efforts, as the island had been desperately battered in recent memory by hurricanes. Number 9. Holbox in Mexico. Holbox is a well-kept secret when it comes to Caribbean islands. Not long ago, Bree and I had the pleasure to spend some time on the island of Holbox, and we were far from disappointed. Our stay on Holbox offered the Caribbean getaway that we were hoping for, but without the over-tourism. Holbox is stunning in a humble sort of way. At this point, tourism isn't even necessarily the main driver of the island life, and I appreciate that. If you have heard of Holbox, it's likely because they are famous for their whale shark viewing, but it's quite clear that island of Holbox is slowly becoming found. Number 8. Barbados. The Barbados is considered to be one of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean. I'm not sure about you, but simply hearing Barbados instantly conjures up images in my head of one of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean. I've spoken to innumerable people who have visited, and many say that Barbados has to be in the running for the prettiest Caribbean island, period. Barbados is only 34 kilometers wide and 23 kilometers long, but most of that is delightfully picturesque. As with Aruba, Barbados is outside of the principal hurricane strike zone, so it's often spared the devastating effects of tropical storms. Number 7. St. Lucia. St. Lucia can offer one of the best Caribbean holidays. St. Lucia is a fairly sizable island by Caribbean standards, and, as such, it's got a whole lot to offer. The Tet Paul Nature Trail is as revered a hiking trail as the Caribbean has, and Pigeon Island National Park offers incredible access to old military forts with no shortage of views. What makes St. Lucia special is that you've got a good opportunity to be active while you're there, as opposed to just vegging on the beach. Some of the best views on the island require that you sweat a little bit to get there, and I think that's a good thing as long as it's not too scorching on that particular day. Number 6. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico needs to be in the discussion for the most beautiful place in the Caribbean. Puerto Rico is undoubtedly one of the Caribbean islands to visit in your lifetime. I was blown away when I was there by how colorful and vibrant the culture was, and the people were as warm as the weather. Sure, it's one of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean, but it was the historical sites that stole my heart. For starters, it doesn't get a whole lot better than Old San Juan. I've been blessed to do a fair bit of globe-trotting so far in this life, and I can only distinctly recall a handful of places more picturesque than Old San Juan. Number 5. Cuba. Cuba offers one of the best Caribbean holidays. I've been to Cuba once, and my goodness would I ever like to go back once more. Cuba, without question, is a country that will stay with you once you've had the chance to visit. Buckle up though, as it's the largest island in the Caribbean, so a trip to Cuba is sure to result in a jam-packed itinerary. With Cuba, you can easily come just for a beach by heading to somewhere like Holguín, but not getting a chance to see Havana would be a mistake. Havana is one of those cities that lives up to its name. The pastel houses and old cars are just as cool as you'd think they are. However, Havana is much more than that, as demonstrated by the romantic Malecón, an 8-kilometer esplanade spanning several neighborhoods that are culturally important. Number 4. Grenada. Grenada is one of the top tropical vacation spots. I'd like to think I'm someone who follows trends in travel pretty closely, and I'll say that Grenada is being mentioned more and more as one of the top tropical vacation destinations. It isn't a large island, seeing as it's only about 350 square kilometers in size, but that doesn't mean it can't be considered one of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean. The island itself is located northwest of Trinidad and Tobago, northeast of Venezuela, and southwest of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's one of the top Caribbean islands to visit for a number of reasons, its natural beauty perhaps being foremost, but it's also known as the Island of Spice. Grenada is a huge player in the nutmeg and mace export business, being one of the world's largest exporters of the latter. Number 3. Curaçao. Curaçao is one of the top tropical vacation spots. In the southern Caribbean Sea lies a Lesser Antilles Islands by the name of Curaçao, which is quietly gaining a reputation as one of the world's best tropical vacation destinations and nicest Caribbean islands. Of course, Curaçao is a former Dutch island territory exemplified by its very Dutch-sounding capital to this day, Willemstad. As with other popular Caribbean islands, Curaçao is noted for its exceptional opportunities for scuba diving and snorkeling, remarkable beaches, and great weather. Of particular note while visiting are places like Canapa Beach, Klein Nip, and Casabo Beach. Number 2. Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos is one of the top tropical vacation spots. Turks and Caicos, shortened to TCI for the Turks and Caicos Islands, offers the classic postcard beauty that so many people are looking for when trying to find the nicest Caribbean islands. Turks and Caicos are a British overseas territory which, not surprisingly based on the name, consists of the larger Caicos Islands and the smaller Turks Islands. TCI is known primarily for tourism because of the multitude of beaches, resorts, sunshine, and the color of the water. That being said, it's also known as an offshore financial center. Number 1. Anguilla. Anguilla is one of the top tropical vacation destinations. It's a difficult task to crown a champion when you're talking about the most beautiful Caribbean islands, but someone has to win, and today that winner goes by the name of Anguilla. Anguilla, like Turks and Caicos, is a British overseas territory, and it lies east of Puerto Rico and north of St. Martin. The total land area of Anguilla is less than 100 kilometers squared, with a permanent population of around 15,000. I'm personally a big fan of the name of their capital city, which is known only as The Valley, and has a bustling population of, about 1,000 people. Thank you for watching, and please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and enable post alerts to view more of our future videos. After saying that, keep watching our videos, and I'll speak with you in the next one.